Good evening, Mr. Wahyu. Good evening, everyone. I am Dian from Group 5, and now I would like to present the material with the title Discourse and Relevant Theory. So in this time, I got the material about the reassessment of coherent relation. So here I have in this field we have 4 points. The first is sequence, the second is explanation, the third is the exemplification, and then the last is the restatement. So for the first is the sequence. The sequence is involve the identification of temporal and causal sequence respectively. And sequence is an action that we will do next if, for example, so here I have an example. The number 16 bus was half an hour late and missed the most of the syntax lecture. So in this example means the 16 bus already late for half an hour, so that's why I missed the most of the syntax lecture. So these relations are a consequence of the way in which the hearer of these utterances use contextual information to develop the linguistically determined semantics representation into a proposition which can achieve optimal relevance. So it means the way how the hearer use the contextual information to develop it. And the second is the explanation. Based on Carstone 1963 recognized, it still has to be explained why this causal interpretation is not necessarily recovered in non-conjoined utterance. And he points out this explanation is not restricted to interpretation of utterance which follow an utterance that rise in implicit why question. In the following example, which in a coherent framework will be analyzed in terms of elaboration, like the segmenting to answer implicit where and who question. It means this interpretation is not limited to merely following the utterance why question, but it analyzes in terms of elaboration such as where and who question. So for example, explain I ate at the good restaurant last week. It was McDonald's. So the first example, it is explain about where I ate the name. It's I explain the name of the restaurant that I ate. For example, I ate at the good restaurant. It was in McDonald's. And the second example is I met a great actress at the party. It was Vanessa Redgrave. So here's explain who I met a great actress at the party. So it was Vanessa Redgrave. And the third is the exemplification. As a Carstone points out, this sort of consideration also explains the interpretive difference. For example, the bus never arrived on time this day. Yesterday I waited 20 minutes for the number 16. The buses never arrive on time, and yesterday I waited 20 minutes for the number 16. On this assumption that exemplification is a common way of providing evidence for a thing, or equivalently giving a reason for believing something. So, and this argument would seem to suggest that the hearers must recognize an utterance is intended as an exemplification before he or she can understand it. For example, there seems to be something very wrong with the army. I assume you know about those soldiers who messed up their hotel room in Uruguay? Yes, it was disgraceful, but it was just one isolated and very atypical incident. So it means in here we don't have use an example, but here I assume one of the army makes something wrong, like mess up. So it only shows that the assumption that the utterance is intended as an exemplification is recovered because it contributes to the recovery of adequate contextual effect. And the last is the restatement. Restatement is a repeating a statement by changing some of the particle elements, but the contextual implication is still the same. So here I have three examples. Like the first is we will have to let her go, and the second is they will have to let her go. So this example are same sounds, are same form of proposition, but it's only different for the semantic structure. For example, as you can see here, in the first is we, and then the second is they. So both of these examples have a different semantic structure, but have the same proposition. And the third one is fire. So here is totally different from this. It means has neither the same linguistic structures, not the same propositional form as the original. Its propositional form may still be said to resemble the propositional form of the original in the sense that it's not difficult to imagine a context in which it gives rise to the same contextual implication. In such cases where the reciprocity involves the sharing of logical and contextual implication. Based on Sperber and Wilson say that the utterance can be said to be relevant as an interpretation of a proportional form or type. Okay, I think that's all about my presentation. So hopefully you can understand. And if you have a question, please feel free to give a comment, or if you have a question, don't hesitate to just write down in the comment please. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thanks.